The Texas ice storm of 2023 decimated pretty much all the trees in Austin, Texas. Everybody's residential home looked like this. Fallen trees left and right, all over the streets. It was absolutely crazy. I had 2 big trees by the workshop in the backyard, and they both split in half. And these trees had to go. They were split in a way that they wouldn't survive another season. So we had to hire an arborist to basically cut them down. One of these giant branches destroyed and toppled down the fence that I share with my neighbor. It wasn't a great fence. It was quite old, but it did completely bring it down. So step 1 was to take these trees down that weren't going to survive. And step 2 is to figure out what to do with the fence. We got a couple of quotes, and half of those quotes suggested that a new fence couldn't be built with the workshop in the way. The workshop was built sometime in the 80s and it wasn't built correctly. City code states you need to have your structure about 5 feet away from the property line or the fence. And this one was built really close, less than a foot. So the shed has to go. Here's the tree that we had to cut down right by the shop wall. The 2 gorgeous old trees gone, and essentially the landscaping of my backyard looks completely different, which is quite sad. I had a lot of lovely shade, and now I don't. But the shed is now going to be demolished. And what we need to do is move all the stuff out of the workshop and find a place for it. And I believe we're going to be putting everything on the deck for now, temporarily. End of an era. So we're going to be dismantling, demolishing this workshop. And I need to move everything out. So the first thing I need to do is move my workbench out. Start putting away all my tools into bins. Disassemble all the video equipment. This is going to be a beast here. All my stockpile of wood, figure out what to do with that. Move the CNC and the giant table it's on. Tools in the back, gotta figure out what to do with those. Then gotta start removing the lights. Air filters, oh my gosh. It's gonna be a huge task. Let's go ahead and get to it. Start moving everything out. Gotta put everything on the deck, so I have to move all the deck furniture out into the lawn. That gives me quite a bit of space on the deck to put my bench. I got the main bench out. Gotta work on this table now. All right, got the CNC off the table. The CNC is literally just on the floor of my deck. The next thing to do is move this gigantic, huge, heavy CNC table. And then we'll get rid of all this scrap wood and move that bench. All right, got the CNC table out. Well, it's just moved out there. See the wreck of a fence we need to rebuild. Bins full of tools. Tool wall's done. I just need to take the actual wall off. Everything's on the deck. most everything. CNC, workbench, tools, knickknacks, other bench. Day 2, Sunday morning. Got all of these bits of equipment from the shop covered in tarps. It's just all on the deck. All this equipment, all the tools. Couldn't lift this desk. Needs like 3 people to move it on the deck. Just left it out there in the yard. This is a granite top cabinet and it's super heavy. I couldn't move it. Needs like 3 people. And I need to take it all the way over there. Bunch of body blanks that I kept for some reason. I thought the scrap wood I could use for something, but I'm just gonna get rid of it. It's trash. Bunch of other scrap wood that I pulled from the shop that I don't need. Nearly done. This drill press is a beast and I can't lift it by myself. I'm gonna need about 2 people, maybe 3, to move that onto the deck. And I gotta remove the lights. So we'll start at the back. There. And then we'll remove the middle light. And then we'll end with the top light before we get rid of the electrical. All done. This is it. This old shed was built in the 80s, I think. So it's really old. It's falling apart. But this was a tool. I used this as a tool. Screwed things in it, made holes where I needed to, did anything I needed to do to make this work for me. But now it's just gotta go. So they're gonna demolish this whole thing on Wednesday and they'll put a new fence in over here because this wasn't built properly. City code needs to have your structure about 5 feet away from your property line or fence line, and this was built incorrectly. So the fence is like about 1 foot away, and the builders of the new fence can't really put the new fence in with this shed in the way. We're gonna demo it, get rid of it, build a new one.